that wasn't going to make it was going to be Chief Fleischner.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get started then. Hey, everybody, this is Glenn Wilson, and I'm going to be filling in for the chief today. He was not able to make our meeting, so let me go ahead and officially call this meeting to order. I don't have any opening remarks, so I'm going to move to the approval of the minutes. The minutes from our October meeting, those were included in the pre-read that Patsy sent out. So let me, want to ask if anybody had any questions or comments on the minutes. Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept them as written?
I'll move.
And second?
I'll second that.
Patsy, did you get that okay? I'm not hearing anything, so I'm assuming Patsy's good. So let's move on to the treasurer's report. Lee?
Yes. Our fund balance from 2019 was $3,496,000. Our current balance is $4,042,000. Our estimate this is probably not the end of our fiscal year because of the auditing and getting everything lined up. Okay. And our bills for September was $228,000. October was $115,000. Our November was $99,000, and our December was $328,000. Tony, is that correct that we don't have the end of the fiscal year yet?
That's correct. They usually wrap that up by March. I can tell you that they probably are done with ETSB for the most part anyway. We did receive a state check yesterday. Patsy took it downtown. They've already have it put into our account. So our fund balance is going to be at $4,258,587 and some change now with that extra $216,000 that was put in today.
Okay, thank you. Glenn, anybody got any questions?
Any questions for Lee before we vote on his report? Hearing no questions, can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Nikki Bleichner, I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer report as presented.
Thanks, Nikki. And a second, please.
I'll second it. This is Travis.
Thanks, Travis. Let's move on to the coordinator's report. Tony?
In your packet, you should have received our various reports that I prepare and that Brandon prepares. I don't believe that there was anything out of the ordinary. Of course, we had a couple of months to go because we did cancel the December meeting or the November meeting. But if anybody has any questions about those, we'll give it a shot to answer them.
Anybody have any questions for Tony on any of the reports that we received?
Brandon also included the end of year call stats for you as well.
I'm not hearing any questions. If we want to move on to the next old business, and I'm looking at the agenda, Tony might need some help. It says items for information, but it doesn't list anything. Was there anything that we were needing to talk about this afternoon?
Not under old business.
Okay. No items for old business. Let me open it up to the board for any items for new business.
Actually, we've got a couple action items there, Glenn, on new business.
Okay, I'm not seeing that in my agenda, so I apologize. Can you help me cover what those items are?
It looks like page 2 of the agenda was not on my packet either. So let me pull it up here real quick. Etsy, do you have your copy right there handy?
Yes, I've got approval of the meeting schedule first.
Okay, yeah, the first item, Glenn, is we do have the meeting schedule for 2021 that we would have presented at the December meeting, or excuse me, the November meeting for approval. It has the dates for the remainder of the year. We would present that for approval. If anybody has any conflicts or anything, they can let us know.
Yeah, for those that have the attachment, I think it's page 21 of 23. The odd month dates are listed there. So Tony, do we need to approve these individually, these new items?
Approve it as a whole.
Okay,
This is Lee making approval for the minutes or for the meeting schedule.
thanks, Lee. Tony, can you help with the, or Brandon, the GIS enhancements? Is that something that, I don't have the agenda. Is that an action item that we need to take to approve?
Yeah, I don't think we finished we didn't get a second or a vote on the first part there.
I'm sorry.
I'll second it, Nikki Bleicher.
Then we'll need to call for a vote for the meeting dates.
So we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye, Lee.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, can we, I think now we can go to the GIS enhancements. Tony, can you help with that discussion, or Brandon?
We are presenting a request for application to a grant. Brandon has prepared a memo provided to the board, and I will let him go through that briefly for you at this time.
Couple of key pieces on this is that we've been staying in right where the state expects us to be with the data as we've been moving forward. Wouldn't expect anything less from what we've contracted already with Western to do. As the state continues to evolve the next generation setup, they have set up a hub through Esri, and that is where all data has to be put in. And then any errors that are found during that time, because they still are finding errors in data that's being corrected, even after it's being marked clean, those have to be fixed before it'll go up into the cloud. So this piece would be them taking care of making sure our data is uploaded into the cloud and any discrepancies are corrected. The next part, or the next part of that also is one of the things that I know has been being looked at by operations at Metcom was being able to get the data of the surrounding counties, and this would be also Western pulling down the data from our neighboring communities and putting it into the format that the CADs need for both Bloomington and Metcom, and then they'd be able to load those into their CADs. Then large campus enhanced addressing. That's anything, examples that it gave was universities, hospitals. This could be as far as like the courthouse if need be, or the government center. we're making sure each place is marked uniquely, so that way when law enforcement or other 911 services are needed, able to find it. That would be them going through, gathering that information and getting that built into the map. Alley MSEG cleanup, that's just the database that the phone companies use for routing and cleaning up the block ranges to make sure that they match the streets, and that streets in the MSAG are current. Last time I went through and looked, I found streets that no longer exist in our county. Then there's other things, ArcGIS indoors, no cost being asked for at all on that one. It's a development, but that would be more of your mapping out, actually creating maps of your larger complexes. Ortho production, again, I didn't put anything down for that. The consortium, McGis, the county consortium, takes care of getting flyovers done for our county. And then the biggest one on here is the custom programming for the data fields. There is a lot of fields that have to be filled in on the different layers for streets, addresses, and the different components. And as I've been watching the new data that we've been using countywide with these fields, I've had to already go through and do a lot of cleanup. So this was a request of mine to Western, what it would take to have those fields auto-populate no matter who is touching our data. So that way the data doesn't get messed up and we don't have to go back to paying somebody to clean it up. This one, they are highly confident that the state will reimburse on through this grant, but there is still the possibility that they want it. If they don't, the cost to us would be $15,000 to protect our data that we've already spent close to $200,000 on.
So that's insurance then?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is another reimbursement grant. So ETSB would make the payments and then be reimbursed once we submit all the information. Just like the grants we had last year for the new equipment and the phone switch over. You know, we had to pay for it up front, submitted the bills to the state, and then they provided us a check.
So Tony, how do we handle that from a budget perspective? Do we need to include that, given that we may not get reimbursed?
We of course, we already have the budget approved for 2021. And if you recall, we had, right off the top of my head, we had $600 and some $1,000 in a budget balance line item. That's what we use for those expenses that we vote on throughout the year.
Thank you. And then Brandon, just a quick question on the large campus enhancements. Would that include the larger employees in town, like country companies and State Farm?
Yes, as much as these entities are willing to work with us. As I'm sure you guys are aware, sometimes they don't like to share that information with anybody.
Okay.
If we can get that information, then we can get that loaded into the system, and it'll make it that much easier.
But we could offer it, and then they can decide if they want to participate or not.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for Brandon or Tony on the GIS enhancements recommendation?
Keep up the good work.
Trying.
Can I get a motion to approve the recommendation as written?
I just have one question, actually.
Sorry, Nikki, go ahead.
Is the total 73,500? And then you just broke it down?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. Can Can I get a motion from someone to approve the recommendation as presented?
I'll
Lee,
move.
motion, yes.
Thanks, Lee. Can I get a second, please?
John Sandage.
Thanks, John. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So now, Tony, I think, are we at the end of the meeting, or were there other new business items?
Typically, we asked if any board members has any additional questions or comments or concerns, and we will address those as needed.
As Tony suggested, any board members have anything they want to bring up or any comments or questions?
Are we hiring new people to replace others?
We just recently posted for telecommunicators. So hopefully we'll get something out of that batch that applies.
Are we doing anything with City of Bloomington, or where are we going with that?
We're just kind of waiting to hear more from, or I should say, I'm waiting to hear more from county administrator and city administrators.
Okay.
Good question, Lee. Any other questions from any of the board members? Hearing no questions, Tony, do I need to take a motion to adjourn the meeting, or can we just adjourn the meeting?
We've done it both ways. I think it's up to the chair. If you want to just call the meeting adjourned, or you can take a motion and vote on it.
I'm comfortable with just calling the meeting adjourned. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you, or we'll talk again in a couple months.
Oh, we hey, Lee or
Yeah.
Glenn, before you adjourn the meeting, Glenn, we did forget one thing. We need to make an announcement that we will be holding elections next meeting for the positions on the ETSB for the chair and vice chair and the treasurer.
Okay. Do we need to do anything to put that in the meeting minutes that we're doing that, or in the meeting agenda?
It is on that page 2, the agenda that was posted but didn't get sent out to you
Okay.
guys.
Okay, over. Very good. So before I adjourn the meeting again, let me ask Tony, is there anything else that we need to talk about before we adjourn?
That's it. Once we made that announcement, we should be good.
Okay. All right. Let's try again. Thanks, everybody. Meeting's adjourned. We'll talk again in 2 months.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.